Conor McGregor took to Instagram for an NSFW. I don't think it wasn't that safe for work. I read it at work because I'm a fucking rebel. That's what I am. But anyway, he took to Instagram to obviously show his thoughts on the fact that he's not included in UFC 200. And it basically was calling out Dana White and the UFC for who they're scheduling to fight in UFC 200. So let's take a look at that Instagram post and see what McGregor had to say.
Nobody gives a fuck about these other fights until this one is settled. Cut the bullshit. Run it back. Hashtag real fight. Hashtag relax. How about
Nice
that?
shirt.
How about that?
Fitted shirt. So he's obviously in his best way possible using the strength of his social to try and, I would say, cause a little bit of movement and some backlash towards Dana White. But I think that the point that Conor McGregor's already making, he's already made, is yes, we understand he carries a lot of weight to his name.
Yeah.
But it is too little too late. That's the damage that that one tweet did. The retirement tweet. And that's what we said, because I would like to see him fight UFC 200. Of
course.
I think me and you might differ. You don't think he's got a leg to stand on. I think he has still the weight of his name and the weight that Nate Diaz fighting anyone else doesn't matter.
Yes.
Nate Diaz doesn't want to fight anyone else. He said he wants McGregor. He will fight because Nate Diaz obviously wants to make that moolah and he will take the fight.
Right.
But he doesn't want to fight anyone else other than McGregor. That's the only thing that I think McGregor has in his locker, is basically saying that it's not going to be as exciting a card without me. Still be exciting. Cormier and John Jones is exciting, but not as exciting.
I think it's interesting because if you're a hardcore MMA fan, you probably don't really care for McGregor on the card or not. You're going to watch, you're going to enjoy, you're going to buy the PPV, and you're going to enjoy it. I think I said that twice. But for those who aren't in like that inner circle, right? They see the hype, they see the ability for any kind of fight, whether it be boxing or MMA, to really rally not just the country, really everybody around making it a spectacle. Everyone knew Mayweather-Pacquiao was going to be a boring fight. Didn't matter. Everyone and their mother knew about it. So he's playing up this idea. But granted, he's right on this. So he's responding to a lot of people on Twitter this morning. This is like as of literally 13 minutes ago when we're shooting this at 9 o'clock in the morning on Monday. The Notorious MMA, this is from Jordan Hickling. You think it's safe to say you've overtaken Brock as the single biggest draw in MMA history? He responded, it is not safe to say, it is a fact to say. I hold PPV, gate, TV, fight pass, and embedded record, even title fight knockout. He said he looks forward to his end-of-year unification bout, but like I said before, these featherweights don't understand. And also, Mark Jeffrey 01 said to McGregor, Diaz claims with a full camp he'd be surprised if you land anything on him. What would you say to that? McGregor responds, he has made more excuses for the first 8 minutes of our fight than I have made for the last 2 minutes of our fight. And I don't think Diaz is making excuses. I think he's playing up the same media platform. He's on vacation, by the way.
Yeah, he's still on vacation.
He's enjoying himself. He's relaxing somewhere. But no, I don't think McGregor does have a leg to stand on because of what he did. Because he went on Twitter and he retired and he tried to get the leverage on Dana White, and Dana White basically looked at him and said, "Fuck off. Yeah. I don't need you." And Dana White's worst thing he could do now is letting McGregor fight. From Dana White's perspective, from the UFC and the business side, the money would be through the roof.
Yeah.
So business sense tells you have to do it, but Dana White, that kind of seems like a guy who isn't going to budge on this one, even though a lot of people out there don't like Dana White for always having his media darlings in UFC.
Yeah, I mean, right, without Conor McGregor, the card doesn't make as much money. It makes money, and it's going to be enough for Dana White to basically stand there and say, look, we removed you from the fight, you tried to play too many games, we still made a profit on this. Did we make as much of a profit?
Also,
no.
Why not just make him do UFC 201? Well, and then you have two big money cards back to back.
That's what he's going to do. Obviously, McGregor's just not going to not fight again. I think McGregor will throw his toys at the pram for a little bit with not having UFC 200 be his highlighted card. And by throwing his toys at the pram, I mean throwing them around social media. He'll do everything he can to showcase that this is a big mistake for the UFC. And again, you're right, by the way, like the inner circle of MMA fans that love the UFC will just they'll enjoy seeing Cormier and John Jones. They'll enjoy seeing Nate Diaz and whoever. But the outside people that's where the money in, that's where the money is. Like, that's not going to draw in the amount of views and the amount of pay-per-view buys and those ticket sales that are going to continue to allow UFC to surpass the other combat sports that we see, like boxing, where I just don't think that anyone really compares in terms of drawing that crowd. That's what I always say for McGregor. But I'll still watch it. I'll be excited to see how he responds and how he bounces back. I'll be excited to see who Nate Diaz fights. I would like to see Nate Diaz take on someone and see him with a full camp. But do you think, this is a question I was going to ask you, do you think Nate Diaz, is there anyone out there that like Nate Diaz is excited to potentially fight, or is it just going to be a case of showing up, getting the job done, and taking home a paycheck?
I think he wants to fight McGregor. I think everybody else is showing up and taking a paycheck, and you know, that's it, at least to me. From all the Twitter rants and everything that's been said, seems like he wants McGregor or he's going to enjoy vacation.
Enjoy it, he will. All right, well, we want to know what you guys think. What do you think of Conor McGregor's Instagram post? Do you think he should find his way back into UFC 200? Dana White should stay strong and make sure that Conor McGregor is not fighting in this card. Let us know in the comment section below. Jason Rubin 91 on Instagram and Twitter. Francis_Maxwell Twitter. Francis Maxwell host on Instagram. Jason, did we follow back anyone? Because I followed back 3.
I followed back somebody this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.
See, we stand by our word.
1.
We won't take to Instagram and call you out. We stand by our word. Subscribe.